And that's it for that Joy-Con. So let's put it back together. Something very important in putting the Joy-Con back together is you have to know where to place the flex cables correctly, or you can close it up and something can be clamped and then you're shit out of luck. So let's get all the buttons and stuff back in. You already just saw that. So let's get to it. And don't worry about the button placement. There are little grooves in the buttons, pretty sure you can see them, that line up with the grooves on the Joy-Con. The ones right here. Those 3 little notches, they all have their proper places that they'll line up. So they'll be pointing in the right direction. So I'll get all those in correctly, put the motherboard back in, and then we'll go from there. Buttons in, line that little middle notch up in the middle part right here. See where those line up? Right on top. There we go. All the buttons are in. Make it easy on yourself to pre-put them in. And then there's little holes. Those little holes I was showing you that screws didn't go in. There are little notches on here where they slide right into perfectly. And there we go. There we go. Don't tighten them too tight. But failed mistake, some people just keep going from here. First thing you do is flip it around. Oh, that falls off. Make sure all the buttons, make sure they all click. If they don't all click, something's wrong. Next, this little joystick. Slap that right on in and slide it right into here and lock it down. So, quick tip for these right here, these little flex cables. These are going to be the hardest things to get in, the flex cables. Now, I'm trying to show you on this one, there's a little plastic strip on here. Full focus. There's a little hard plastic strip right here. I don't know if you can see it, but where that color divides, when you slide it in, you use your tool and slide it up into the hole. So I'll give an example of that right now. So once it's slightly in like there, take your little tool and press it on in, just like that. And once you have it on in, go ahead and slide your flap down like that to lock it into place. Another tip with this one, don't tighten that first screw down all the way. Leave some play so you'll be able to get everything flush first, and then you can go in with the other screw and tighten them both down. Then get your minus button in. Remember to make sure the button is facing this way. The little rubber thing, make sure it's facing that way or it won't press properly. Then let's go ahead and put the rest of these parts in. Remember, get everything properly in place before you tighten it down all the way so you can get a little bit applied like this. You want to be able to move it around a little bit just until you get everything in place properly, then tighten both screws down. That goes for everything that has 2 or more than 1 screw. Here we go. Remember, check the button. There we go. It's working properly. Since it's not put together all the way, what you're going to do is put your finger on this part right here and then press the button. Make sure it's working properly. We got all the buttons in. Everything's working properly. Cool. And you've successfully done that so far. Let's keep going. And there we go. Pull the flap up, slip it right on in, keep it going. Pop it in, push on these little flap corners, and pop it down. Go ahead and stick back down that HD rumble. It's going to be facing this way, with the wire facing that way. Remember the adhesive is on the bottom. Give it a good firm press Make sure the adhesive sticks back in. And go ahead and slide that right back into its hole. Give it a good old press down in there. There we go. Now this is a good thing. This is a good thing that can be easily confused in and messed up. So you take the battery holder, flip it over onto the back side, how you did before. Now, so you get the idea of how not to mess this up. There's a part on the back right here where there's no gold plating on the back. And you flip it over, and then there's gold plating right there. So that gold plated part is going to go right side up. So remember, the teeth on that are going to be facing up when it goes right into the slot. There we go. Press on that little corner piece and flop it down. Locked into place. Come over. Now this is very important too. This flex cable. You want to make sure this flex cable stays underneath. So when you're putting everything back together, it's not going to be on top. Because I see sometimes there's videos where the cable is on top. Like so. Let me get it so where it's in the wrong position. The cable will be upwards like this. All out there. The cable does not go like this because once you try to put the case back together, it ends up clipping this little cable piece right in between the two where they sandwich. So that's a no-no. So bring the case up. Bring that flex cable underneath this flap right here. And make sure it's not on top of it. And sit it right down in place. And there you can see what I mean through the case, fortunately, where the flex cable sits underneath that little flap. So getting these off and changing them is going to start off with these screws right here. There's one little Phillips right here. Then come on the side, flip it over, and hit these ones right here. And the first part that pops up is the first part of the flex cable, which is the buttons and lights. Then it's only stuck to it with a little adhesive. Let's give it a little tug. You see the adhesive breaking right there. There you go, it comes right off. That's where your Joy-Cons get its charge from. And then the locking button pops right out. There you go. Make sure to keep track of these little buttons right here. The little buttons for the for you take the Joy-Cons out individually. Those come out. This one right here, this one, and also that one comes out. So be careful about those. Give it a little press so the adhesive can stick. And then go ahead and slide this puppy right back on because that's going to prevent those buttons from falling out. There we go. So, now with two of these right here, there's this flap that's going to be in the front, and then this flap is in the back. You can see the flap for this one's in the back, this one's in the front. So, I'm going to go ahead and open that one up. In my opinion, this one's actually harder to get in than this one on the bottom. Like I said before, get those little things on the side here. Alright, so I'm going to take it. It's a little tip. Don't do this hard at all. Just give it a slight bend. That. So easy. Really soft. See how this one's curved and this one's slightly bent now? So what you're going to do is, with that angle you're going to use to get it right into the hole right there. And hold it. And close it up. There you go. And this one's a lot easier. Alright, so make sure the buttons work properly. There you go. Remember, important, make sure that flex cable is underneath, not on top right here. You see it up top, that's the problem. All right, let's go ahead and install these screws. Remembering not to tighten them down all the way until we have all of them here. All right. Remember not to tighten them too tight. This is plastic, you don't want it to break. And one last check. Make sure all the buttons work. Battery goes positive side down. Give it a little press. Good, nice little press. And coming around. And a hook right back into the connector. Now, it goes into the connector through these two little prongs. You see the holes? Where the gold plating is, that goes down like that into the connector. Alright, so the battery's in. Go ahead and press the wires down in there. Go ahead and flip it over. Line it up. So that little flap right here goes right down in. Little flap right there at the corner. Goes right in. Line it up on the other side just like that. Come together. There you go. That's the first Joy-Con. I didn't feel like putting the other piece on. I mean, all the other pieces I have, really all the other Joy-Con parts, they're all here and stuff like that, but just didn't feel like it. Yeah, there you go. Now, to switch over to the right Joy-Con. This motherfucker. As you see, we just take this little adhesive strip right there. Right there, little adhesive strip. Just go ahead and flip that around. Lay that back down into position. Give it a little press. Make sure it sticks correctly. Go back and grab the IR camera. Slide that back down. There's a little infrared strip under this one too. Go ahead and slide that back down into the grooves. Use the flat side. Go ahead and brush it back on like paint. Brush the adhesive strip back on like paint. There we go. Not to be too rough with it. Now there are two alternative ways to do this. If you don't have any tweezers to be able to slide anything into the motherboard, what you can do is have everything out and then plug them back in. And what I mean by it is just a easy slip right on in, watch. And boop, right in. There you go. And do that for the same with the camera. Just come around here. And slide it right on in. There you go. Just a quick, easy way if you do not have tweezers. Well, you see there's no gold strips on this one right here. Gold strips on the top of this one. But it's going to be underneath for the camera. So when you're sliding it in, just remember for the camera, the gold strips are going to be pointed downward when you slide them into the board. And for the sensor, they're going to be sitting up to be sliding into the board. So just remember. Alright, there you go. The next couple things you guys are going to need to do is just put in the joystick and then the HD rumble. And then from there, we're going to go to the next steps, which is this atrocity right here. Oh my god, getting this motherfucker in. Also, remember to put the top part back on slip it in first before you put the battery holder in. There we go. And then from there, give it a slight twist. Put that button back on, and you guys know from here what to do. Screws back in for the two tops. That's it, my niggas. We're almost done. We're almost done. So I'm pretty sure you guys see why I chose to show y'all the left one first, so you guys can get the gist of what you guys are doing. And pretty much from there, you have a good idea of what to expect. So then from there, go ahead and press the antenna down back onto its little seat right here. This battery back in. Give it a little firm press before you close everything up. You know, make sure all the buttons work. Sounds like we're all good. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. You already know what this is. You already know how this goes. But that's it, my niggas. Finally finished with that shit. Thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments if you're not sure about anything or anything like that. And you guys have a good rest of the night. Fucking shit, I did not think I would be doing that again so soon. But your niggas asked for it and I delivered. Peace out. I got to get out of here.